Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. There's a lot of things that are being recognized in the month of June. We've talked about mental health awareness being recognized and brought attention to, but also this is Acne Awareness Month as well. And it's important for us to talk about this because a lot of people are suffering with acne, and it can impact not only, of course, their wallets and pocketbooks because of the prescriptions and creams to try to be able to help with the condition, but also it can impact their mental health and well-being as well. We're excited to welcome Dr. Sonia Batra to our broadcast today. She's going to talk to us not only about what acne is, but also about a new treatment option that may be a benefit to you if you are suffering from acne. Dr. Batra, thank you again for being with us. Really appreciate the time today.
Cyrus, thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciate you raising the awareness. You really elegantly tied it, that it's not just Mental Health Awareness Month because acne also impacts your mental health, so they're very linked, and it's nice that they're both becoming more on people's radars and we're all educated more about them.
Yeah, and Dr. Batra, that's why I think this conversation is so important, because I think even the conversation about what acne is, let's start there, because I think a lot of times we're not all clear even about what it is. So what exactly is acne?
Yeah, and despite it being such a common condition, I think people don't necessarily know even what constitutes acne. It has a whole range of appearances. It can be anything from bumps and whiteheads and blackheads, papules and pustules, would have a whole different array of appearances on your skin. And what it's due to is an overproduction of oil or sebum, a tendency for those outflow tracts to get clogged, certainly with dead skin cells, and bacteria. And so that's what's causing the lumpy bumpiness, the oiliness, and it can occur on your face, it can occur on your chest, your back, your upper arms. So really anywhere you have oil glands and they tend to get clogged, that can constitute acne.
Dr. Batra, I just learned something I didn't see. I think a lot of people think of it just on the face, so it can be on other parts of the body as well. That's good to know. So is there anyone in particular then? I know you mentioned about the oil in the skin, but is there anyone in particular who's more prone to acne?
Well, I think we could typically think of acne in our teenage years because the hormonal changes really wake up the oil glands, and that's the most common time people will experience acne. But unfortunately, it can certainly go on into adulthood, and many, many adult women especially can experience adult hormonal acne for decades. So definitely both genders, definitely different ages, but probably a peak in teenage years.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, since it is something that any of us can be able to be impacted by, of course, people are going to have their own ideas about things about acne. What are some of the common myths about acne that our audience should know or are not true?
Well, I think, sadly, acne is super common, right? It's the number one dermatologic condition. It affects over 50 million people in North America, and as a result, you have many, many myths and misconceptions, many, many sources of information that are not always reliable. I think one of the common ones I see a lot is that picking and poking and squeezing is somehow beneficial. And I'm certainly here as a dermatologist to tell you, please do not try this at home. When you start squeezing things out, you do get an immediate gratification. Things sort of seem to level off. But then the downside is that you're often introducing bacteria and you're pushing inflammation deeper in the skin. And in the long term, that's going to worsen scarring and leave a lot of souvenirs.
Wow. That's a big one. I think that is... Yeah, that's something for us to think because, I think especially parents, I remember my mom doing this, Dr. Batra. So I think parents are used to doing that, especially with their children, you may, like you said, you might get that instant gratification of it, but you could be causing other problems there too. I mentioned, of course, you were not only talking about what acne is, but also a new treatment option. What can you tell us about what's out there that can help to improve and clear acne?
Absolutely. So there's a new technology that's available in dermatologists and healthcare providers' offices, and it's called AviClear. And it's the first energy-based device that was FDA cleared for mild to severe acne. And what it does is it's a wavelength of light used in a laser to target the sebum production. So that's a really different mechanism. It's not one of the creams or the washes or the pills that we've traditionally had in our armamentarium. And so it's really exciting. It's a treatment where you come in and you have 3 rounds of it, about 4 to 6 weeks apart in a dermatologist or healthcare provider's office. And it's actually been proven to decrease the severity, the frequency, the intensity of acne, and to have a longer-term benefit. So 92% of people who did a series of these treatments still had improvement 12 months out.
Really good information. And I think for anyone out there who's suffering with acne, or we know someone who is, Dr. Batra, this is great for them to be able to know it. And it's AviClear. So I'm going to link the website for our audience, both on the Facebook page for the radio site, aviclear.com, and also, of course, for those tuning in via the podcast on iHeart and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're going to put it for you guys as well. Again, aviclear.com. Dr. Sonia Batra has been our guest, talking with us not only about what acne is, but also, of course, about this new treatment option to be able to help with it as well. Dr. Batra, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Cyrus, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for raising awareness.
Hey, the pleasure's definitely all mine. Glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.